All right, turning. Whoa, pedestrians. Always got to look. See how the sun was in the eyes? Don't get... Do you think he deserved that? I think he deserved that. Let's watch that real quick. Ah! You deserve that, fool. Calling somebody a dickhead and trying to get him out of the freaking crosswalk. Come on now. Right here, what we have, obviously, is we have the sun. So we have the sun with all the rays. It's blocking our eyesight. Everyone over here is in the shadow, so you can't see them very well. So just be aware of that, especially if you're making your turn, you got somebody behind you and they're kind of being an issue. So we're just gonna move forward right here. So you're looking, you can't see very well. That sun is in your eyes. It's gonna blind you a little bit. Now, these pedestrians are in the crosswalk. You're supposed to wait. So now we're here. So we get to this point. Oh, crap. We're in the path of travel of oncoming traffic. What do we do? What do we do? Just stop. Just stop right here. Kind of deserve that. All right, wheelies. High risk. And there's the dump. Okay. When it comes to that, you could have easily have injuries to your back. And your coccyx. So that right there is your tailbone. That right there is your back. Your head's gonna hit the back. That's why you wear a helmet. Looks like he's wearing a helmet. Very good. Problem is, it's a very high risk, and for me, low reward. It's probably a high risk, high reward for these guys. And that's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal. All right, lane filtering. What do you think some of the problems when it comes to lane filtering? Write in the chat, what do you think some of the problems are with lane filtering in terms of risk?
I knew it.
Don't hit.
He'll get mad at you.
There's absolutely no reason to do that. So we're riding around, and this is a pretty good space. We're doing pretty good here.
Oh.
So we're going in and out. We're confusing drivers.
He'll get mad at you.
So that right there, there's absolutely no point. There's no point in that. Don't be like these riders. Don't do this. We're giving ourselves a bad look. High risk. We'll see that again. All right, so we're gonna be riding right here. Now, I've done something like this, but I did it with a tripod, not someone here. I wasn't also wheeling. I was just driving or riding, and it's pretty difficult to grab something and do what he's doing right here. We start to go down. There's that ankle. Gotta be very careful when it comes to that ankle, everybody. That ankle could easily snap right there. You got your hand right there. That, you could rip some flesh off. Make sure you have gloves. Looks like he's got gloves, so he's hopefully doing fine, but it's probably MX gloves, so it's just gonna be ripped. There's no padding. So you got the ankle. Your leg's gonna start sliding across the ground. You have your hip impact, and there's your foot being smashed by, what, a 200-pound machine? You know, if you're doing this with a sport bike, you're doing this with a cruiser, woo, smash your ankle, maybe broke your tib fib. You never know. No bueno situation. All right, lane sharing. Oh! There's a lot of impatience on that driver. That is road rage and very dangerous. He's brake checking everybody. There had to have been something prior to this. Don't participate. Don't participate in that. All right, I don't care. There we go. Low side. Low side. Why do you think he low sided everybody? All right, so we're turning. Let's go ahead and do this so that you guys can see his hands, because I think I saw his right hand squeeze that front brake, and that's a no bueno situation. There it is. Okay, so why would we reach for that front brake? Probably because we're going too fast in the turn. We don't have good visibility because of all this, but we should still anticipate that we need to make this turn. Maybe we're going too fast. We got a little panicked. We're like, oh crap, I got to slow down. And what happens is that when you're turning, when you're doing all these things as a newer rider, and I'm speaking to new riders because this is a new rider mistake. This is a beginner mistake. As somebody that's been riding for a while, you should not be making these beginner mistakes. You should learn these things. Well, how do you learn? You go take a class. Okay, you go out and take a class. You learn this in the basic riding course. Okay, you learn it in the basic class. So if you make those beginner mistakes, how do you save yourself? How do you prevent further screw ups, further mistakes, further issues? wearing full gear. He's wearing full gear. So he's got gloves, pants, jackets, boots, helmet, everything. You got impact protection, shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, head, hands. Make sure you wear full gear. If you want to push the limits, go out on a track. There's a large runoff so you don't hit a curb. All right, so we're riding in town. So now we have other vehicles as the main problem. Sides of vehicles like crazy, great braking, handled it well. So right here, this is what I want to point out just real quick. We're not going to stay too long on this one. So we're riding, we have terrible line of sight right here. So you can't see far to the left. You don't have a good escape path. You pretty much only have this section, which is really weird because how are other cars supposed to drive here? So we're moving though. There's that side of the vehicle. That's that pattern I talk about all the time. If you see that, that means there's a possibility of somebody coming in front of you and you could T-bone them. So as soon as you see that, you should be in orange stage. And you should start to slow down, maybe even reach for that front brake just so you can see what it is that they're trying to do. If they start creeping out more and they don't see you because they're looking left at that white van, you're stopped. You don't hit anybody. But if you fight for that lane, you're like, I'm just going to rush through and I'm going to just go, then you hit them. That's how a lot of accidents happen. So what happened here is that he did do what I just said. He applied the brakes right here when he first perceived it, responded to it. So now he has nowhere to go. He can't swerve left. He can't swerve right. He has to have total stopping distance right here. He has to have that. He has to go from here to here. He has to stop. Stop or slow down, either or. I would try to stop if I was at this low speed, but this car driver is going to want to do this as soon as they can. So they're going to do it, hopefully, and I can go around him just like he did in the video. All right. Low visibility. Looks like it's really cold. Looks like there's a lot of moisture. People can't see each other. They can't see motorcyclists. Motion-induced blindness. We'll talk more about that. So we're riding around this thing right here. They're turning. They're picking lanes. We just move around them. Non-issue. Another probably non-issue. Oh, maybe not. That's an issue. Now we're in oncoming traffic. Good swerve to get yourself out of that situation. Let's go back to that one, actually. So we're coming around this corner. It's a blind corner. We can't see very well. We see somebody right there coming out. So we have two options, really. We could brake, swerve, pretty much it. So we have two lanes, though. We don't need to swerve all the way into oncoming traffic because your solution should not be worse than the problem. The problem is the scooter. Your solution should be to navigate and stay as safe as possible. If you put yourself in a worse spot because you thought it was the best escape path, well, now you have a lot more problems that you have to solve. He didn't have to go that far. He could have went like this and still made it in there. So look where you want to go. Make sure you go where you're pointed, which should be staying in our lane. But you see how he's going this way? Okay, well, cool. If you can't make it back into your lane and do this, well, go ahead and keep doing this, but now you have new problems. So keep looking forward. Now, minimize as much of the hazard as possible. Stay off to the side. We're on motorcyclists. We're on motorcycles.
Close call. Did you see that dumb idiot?
Maybe.